Okay, so let's see. Uh, Janice asks, what are the optimal placements for opt-in forms? Left, right, after the post, footer.
Oh, that
What's
is a
your
great
what's your take
question.
on that?
Janice, my answer is all of the above. um, you want to give people the opportunity at any time to opt in. But more specifically, I can tell you where the highest opt-ins come from. Uh, the header area below the navigation, but above your blog post or your main content. That's called like the featured area in thesis, right? It's like the feature box.
Mm-hmm.
An opt-in box there is one of the highest converting places on your website. The sidebar is kind of like that's your view your sidebar as your backup plan. Okay, if somebody lands on a blog page or something like that, and they're looking to where to opt in, they'll probably look on the sidebar. And Tessa has revealed that sidebars to the right of your content optimize are more optimized than sidebars on the left. So if you want people to opt in, put your sidebar on the right. But the second place that people will opt in the most on, specifically on a blog site, is after the post. So if I were to prioritize them, I would say featured box after the post, then the sidebar. Okay.
Well, and it probably depends on what the purpose of the page is.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
So if you have a landing page
Oh yes.
for a specific product or service,
Hmm.
and you have an opt-in for that, then of course it's going to be very prominent. If you've got a blog post,
Right.
you're probably not going to have a feature box on every blog post because people are there to read the blog post. But at that
Yep.
point, you might put it at the end of the blog post, or
Exactly.
you know something like that. And on your homepage is probably the place where the feature box is an appropriate
Exactly.
location for that.
Yes. One good test, Janice, is to look at your website and scroll every page, scroll down on your website. Is there any time where I can scroll down and not have an opt-in box? Um, if you want optimal opt-ins, and I'm speaking towards a blog page, you can even strategically place your opt-ins on the side so that when they scroll down, that opt-in box is conveniently placed to the right where there is no other options. And then when they scroll past that opt-in, of course, it's the end of the article. So, but what if you focus on delivering value, you'll be surprised at how easily people find your opt-in boxes. And the footer is a good place as well. I mean, if you have the ability to put opt-in boxes freely within your website, you can't go wrong. Nobody ever gets offended by having too many opt-ins. It's never they just ignore them. So yeah,
Well, it can be very useful then, especially if you've got a long page. I guess I don't have any long
yes,
pages here, but if you have a really long page, it can be very useful to have an opt-in again at the bottom. Because if your
exactly.
primary opt-in is up here at the top someplace, uh, they may have even forgotten that there's a rationale for
Yep.
signing up or a place
Yep,
to sign up.
you're
So,
exactly right. You are exactly right, Rick. Yes.
okay, so let's see. Janice also asked, is there a simple solution for offline opt-in? Let me see if Janice is here. I'm not quite sure I understand that question.
If you wanted to add somebody by without them having to go to your website,
Yeah, I guess let's just say, assume that that's the case. Somebody
yes.
says, here, add me to your mailing list, that kind of thing.
Yep, yep. This feature is kind of hidden in Aweber. It's more prevalent in GetResponse, but it exists in both. I'll have to double check with Mailchimp. It's probably the same with Mailchimp. However, there's a feature that a lot of people do not use, and I was surprised by this, but not really because it took me some time to figure it out. Every list that you create on, and I'm speaking specifically to GetResponse and Aweber because I've had experience doing this. Every list that you create in GetResponse or Aweber is assigned an email address. And if somebody sends an email to that address, they will be added to your email list. So
I
more than
didn't know
likely,
that.
yes, more than likely. So Rick, if you have an email list called BYOB and somebody emails BYOB at aweber.com, their name and email will be automatically added to your list,
Oh,
to that
that
list.
is very useful little piece of information.
Yes.
What I did for
Yes.
that was, because this happens every once in a while.
Okay.
Sometimes people, you know, I have a double opt-in for everything, so I don't
Yep.
automatically ever add anybody to my list, even if they bought a membership. But
Okay.
I do all of my communication via the email list. So I
Yes.
never use the email that's in the database for the person. So if the person doesn't follow through on that double opt-in, they don't get announcements for upcoming classes or when new videos are posted or new plugins are available or any of that kind of stuff. And so
Right.
sometimes they'll say, hey, I don't get any emails from you, or wouldn't it be great if you'd send me an email when this kind of thing is going on? And I set up a form, a hidden sheet, a hidden page with a form
Yep.
on it. And I send them a link to the form and they can fill it out. But it would just be way easier to do what you just said.
Yes. Yes.
Way easier.
Yeah, it was a little gem that I found. I was just kind of playing around, saying, "Whoa, wait a minute, this is powerful." And I believe that's Janice's. Uh, I think that's her intent is to, hey, I met somebody. Can I add? Hey, now each list has an email address, and
Yeah.
if they email that address, and you can even set it up to where you get forwarded. So if they email that address and say, "Hey, please add me to your list. I met you at a networking event," it will forward that email, that subject and message to you in your personal email, as well as add them to your list.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Okay, so Shayna has another question.
Hmm.
She's the book distributor or publisher.
Okay, great.
So I've previously sent email as news and updates from Yatzeret's Publishing, since that's what my customers say they want, news and updates. But is that too boring? My click-through rate tends to be about 40%. Well, now, 40% click-through is pretty dang high.
Yeah, that is great. You should pat
Um,
yourself on the back. That is great. I get. You know what, Rick? I guess one thing we didn't address is expectations. What kind of percentages and rates are optimal?
yeah,
And maybe that can be on our follow up. But for Shayna, right?
yep,
Is that's yeah, for Shayna specifically, a click through rate of 40% is great. I mean, that is, I'll take that any day. I would take your click through rate. I guess the bigger question is, what are they clicking through to? What kind of value is on the other end of that click through? Because that can affect your click through rate more than anything. That when they click, they're getting value, and hopefully more value than they anticipated. But yeah, with high click through rates like that, you definitely want to utilize delivering high value, because when it comes time to sell a book or something like that, those click through rates will be to your benefit.
so you can see these are stats on the last 5 emails I've sent out, to roughly 3,400 subscribers.
Okay.
And we've got, this morning's email, 12.5%. All-time high was well, not all-time high, but nevertheless, the high here is the thesis launch party. 22.5% opened. Opening and then click through is there's a big distinction, and you can see
Mm-hmm.
also that some numbers of people have considered that to be spam and complained about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the nice thing about this, is being able to see that kind of thing. I guess,
Right.
my little email here about you've chosen the wrong shopping cart. I guess that looks like that's about my highest. I don't know if that's my highest ever. It could have been back when. Well, so I've got also. I got some pretty high ones, I guess, but still, 40%. I don't think I've ever come close to 40%. And
40% is amazing.
yeah, so I would
Yeah.
say you're being very successful with that.
Yes.
And
Congratulations.
she follows up with, should email contain content that is exclusive to the list? It's not available anywhere else. And I don't think so. No, I mean, for a while there, DIY Themes had a nice email newsletter, and a bunch of it was really just the first part of a blog post.
Right.
And so they'd have a blog post. The first part of it they'd put in this email, and then they put a link in the email. If you want to read more of this, you can go over here and then tell me what you think about it. And that was,
Yes.
I think, a pretty good strategy.
Yes, yes. The official term for it is called the blog bounce, and that's bouncing them from your email to your blog to increase traffic to your blog post for Google and SEO. But yeah, Shayna, it doesn't have to be exclusive, but it can be exclusive. If making it exclusive is like another hurdle, then I wouldn't worry about it, because there's ways to make it exclusive without making it exclusive. And what I mean is, a lot of newsletters are data across the internet compiled in one place. So you don't have to go searching for this stuff. These people search for it and grab it. Other experts on the topics, and comprise all of this in a newsletter per se, and add the links there. I've seen a lot of successful marketers do that. For instance, if I was in the web development, I would have had Rick's call today on there, as well as some other guys out there that are making some noise in the web development space. Compiled those three things with a headline, a brief text, and a link to go there, because that would be valuable for anybody trying to build their own business website. So I don't necessarily have to be the author of it, but if I find amazing content, I can compile that into one space, one area. It's the Walmart approach. They go to one place and get them all, different vendors, but great products and value under one roof.
Okay, so I have a free MailChimp account that I essentially do not use. I mean, I used it for training purposes. And
Yes.
I have this demonstration site that, clearly says this is a demonstration site for a class, but
Yes.
people still sign up for it. And I have 216 subscribers. Now, okay, so way back when, in 2010, I sent out an email saying, looking for suggestions to the 13 subscribers that were there. And there was 38.5% open rate and a 0% click-through rate. Now, the reason I'm pointing this out is because Bev asked, do I know if the free MailChimp provides stats, such as number of opens, etc.? Well, it appears as if it does.
I haven't tested my free MailChimp account to that extent. I haven't tested the boundaries of free, but I would say it's normally part of their system. So if they allow you to send emails on their free platform in some way, then more than likely they'll allow you to track those, because it will be more work to like turn it off per account than just to leave it on.
Yeah. So, it looks to me like it has very similar. It looks to me like it has very similar kinds of reports as does Aweber.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, and
mainly
most
only
of
look at opened rate myself, but
Mm-hmm.
just to tell.
Yeah, I mean, and one thing, and this is a good thing, you guys get some more goodies here. I dive deep in this stuff, but one thing about open rates, just for everybody on there, if you understand how they're calculated, open rates are calculated by an invisible pixel. So in your email browser where it says display images, if that's turned off, or if you don't click that, you can open the email and it still go as unopened. So that could be very deceiving to some marketers that watch their open rates, because it may look like less people open their email than actually did. And ways around that are to, well, I don't want to get too technical, but so a lot of people will scrap the open rate and check the click-through rate, because at the end of the day, they're like, well, that's all I really care about is, are people taking action. But it's always important to know that, because for a while I would get emails from, because I track all my emails. I would get emails from people that would comment on the email I sent, and I would look at it and I say, well, how do you know you didn't even open it? And they're like, sure I did. I opened it right when you sent it. And then I realized, oh, if their mail client has images off, or if they haven't clicked always display images from me, they can open it and it not be registered as an open, because that invisible pixel is the tracking mechanism that these email systems use.
I did not know that.
Yep.
I did not know that was the way they determined whether or not the email had been opened.
Right. Yeah. So now you can test it and send yourself an email, and don't click on open images, and you'll see that it still says 0. And the second you click on open, it says 1. And one more thing. Oh, you guys got me going here. There's a difference between open rate and unique open rates. Because your regular open rate, if I opened your email 5 times, your open rate would reflect 5. But if you look at your unique open rates, it would reflect 1. Because unique opens just look at who opened the email. Open rates in general just look at how many times the email was opened. So you can have 5 people that opened your email. They just thought it was so good that they opened it 10 times. And your open rate will just skyrocket. Well, when you look at your unique opens, it goes down to like 2. Because although they opened it 20 times, unique opens only count the person, the email address per, not the amount.
Well, and you can see that Aweber does track that. Unique opens versus
right.
total opens.
So you definitely want to look at
2.
your unique opens. Right, yes.
Wow, this morning somebody liked 133 different people, or there were 133 more than 1 opens. That's interesting.
Wow.
There you
go. Yep. So yeah. And as you guys are asking questions, I'll just put this site out there, chrisldavis.com/BYOB. And what I did was I wanted to give you guys a resource. Oh, I'm sorry.
Here, I'm making you the. There you go.
Where'd it go? Do you guys see this?
You see questions? There you go.
Okay. chrisldavis.com/BYOB. Absolutely nothing for sale. And in fact, the resource I will be giving to Rick, so it'll be made available inside of the community as well. But I figured the best way to deliver this would be via autoresponder. And what I've done is I've gone and grabbed about 5 of some of the top marketers, and I jumped on their list and I grabbed their confirmation messages, and I've compiled it into a PDF for you. So you can go out and see how they're asking people to confirm their subscription on their double opt-in, as well as I'm giving you a template for your first welcome message. Like Rick asked earlier, what kind of calls to action should you have? All of that, once you go to chrisldavis.com/BYOB and you opt in, you'll get that PDF, and then the first welcome message, you can actually copy and paste that for your first welcome message. It works. I get a response rate over 50% for that message itself. Of course, tweak it per your business. But what I wanted to do is give you guys some resources to just really get you started. So once you sign up, you're going to need a confirmation message and you're going to need a welcome message. You should be able to get both through this resource for you. And as I said, the PDF I will give to Rick as well for having that available. That'll be available.
Okay, so I just posted the link in the chat window.
Okay.
So that people can click on the link here, and this is what it looks like when you get there.
Yes.
No, it's not asking me to confirm though.
Nope. You did that when you clicked the email link. So I kind of do it all in once.
Okay. I see. And so then we get the email.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, and then those are the confirmation emails that you can get
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. Let's see. I guess I really only have one question. Dr. Lewis asks, where would you find a repository of information in your particular field to create the newsletter? I think, Dr. Lewis, I'm just going to have to unmute you here. I'm not sure I understand that question.
Okay.
Let's see, where'd you go? There you are. Good morning, Dr. Lewis. I just unmuted your microphone. Are you with me? Well, maybe he's not with me. Okay, so let's just take a crack at this. Where would you find the repository of information in your particular field to create the newsletter you just talked about? I think he's talking about. I guess he's talking about your field. I guess he's talking about email marketing. So where would you find? What are other good resources for email marketing for creating newsletters?
Yes, that is a great question. I had the exact same question, and that's one of the reasons why I did start my business. Because what you'll find is that people will show you how the tool works, but they won't show you how it works in your business or your business. So I actually personally do training on how to take all of these tools and technologies and use them for the exact, the specific business purposes of, my clients and customers. And I do that with various web trainings and seminars and everything, where I give people, of course, a screen capture of my desktop, as well as a PDF document of exact the steps that I've taken. So that's how I handle that personally. Some of my clients, what I'll end up doing is creating a template for them in their platform, and then all they have to do is go and copy and paste the content. So
and Chris has some links here on this PDF file that are that might help point you in the right direction too.
Yeah. I mean, these, I gave credit to all of these guys. I wanted to be honest. I'm not taking their information. So if you do see some of these guys, you want to find out more, you can click and see their squeeze pages or blog sites. But yeah, when you get outside of the general realm of email marketing, you need more specifics. That's where you'll start realizing that there's not as much information as you would like. And again, that's one of the reasons that I kind of started to own that areas, because I do understand these technologies and how to integrate them effectively, to automate and grow businesses.
And so if somebody has a follow-up question, they can email you at what?
The best email, you can have my email directly or go to my website, chrisldavis.com/contact. But everybody on the call, just straight email from you to my inbox, chris@chrisldavis.com. And that comes straight to me.
I can type. Chris at chrisldavis.com.
Yes, and that comes straight to my email. If any questions, any requests for training, I mean, I'm a resource. I'm a resource for your business to make the technology easier to understand, not by you per se, but implement it so you can just kind of manage it and not have to worry about all the complexities. Because there's a lot of general information until you get started, and then it's kind of like, whoa, how do I do this? And I'm sure most people on the line have found that out with building their own website. And that's why you have your resource, because you need more of a specific, intentional training for a lot of this stuff.
Okay, well, any parting comments there, Chris? I think we're done with the questions. So
okay, well, great. No, I'd just like to say thank everybody on the line. You guys have stayed on this long. I take that as a firm thank you for the content on this call, our webinar, and whatnot. I am, through Rick, I am available to each and every one of you. So if you do decide to email me, just make sure you say, hey, I'm from BYOB, and I can kind of put you up as higher priority And like I said, I look forward to coming back. Any kind of training for automation that you guys need or are looking into, feel free to reach out to me, either, like I said, through email or through Rick. Like I said, I intend on being a great asset and value to the community. So,
Well, that's great. I really appreciate it, Chris. And we are going to get back together again. I can feel it. Okay, well, everybody, thank you very much again for being with us today and in our little getting started with email marketing. This has been recorded and will be posted on the site here in the next couple of days, so you can come back and rewatch it and get out of it what you need. And otherwise, just like to thank you, Chris, for coming.
Yes, I appreciate you, Rick. Pleasure is all mine.
Okay, we'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.